Hello fellow reefers, this is Greg from OG Reef Tanks. I just wanted to do a brief update on my 29-gallon Nano tank. It's fully stocked now. I definitely am not going to get any more corals. I'm having problems because now that the corals are growing in, I'm having problems with them touching, and I've had to move my jelly bean chalice coral over a couple times so that it wouldn't get stung from the pink and yellow gonopora. And anyway, everything's doing really well. I haven't lost any corals. The only problem that I do have is I got a coral from a unnamed source, online retailer that's really popular and well known. And I got this frag from them. It's supposed to be a rainbow chalice frag. Anyway, when I received the frag, it was damaged, and there was pieces of it that was knocked off of it. I don't know how that happened because it was in a cup in a styrofoam box as well. Anyway, every place where the coral was damaged, algae has managed to take hold, and I can't seem to get rid of the algae without harming the coral. So at this stage, I'm just trying to take off the algae every once in a while, and hopefully the coral will grow down onto the plug and it will survive. But as of right now, that's the only coral that I'm really having problems with. I've had to frag several of my corals because they got too large, especially that green Nepthia in the back. Had to frag that a couple times. It's pretty big and keeps on growing. Like I said, the tank's doing well. Haven't really done anything different from the last video. The fish population may have changed somewhat. I've got 5 fish in there. I got the Carpenter's redfin fairy wrasse, or flasher wrasse, excuse me. I've got the sailfin blenny, the azure damsel. I've got the royal grandma and a firefish in there. And that's it for fish. I've decided to not get any more fish right now. I had a fish or two jump out of the tank, but I've got a new top on there, so hopefully that will not happen again. And anyway, tank keeps on doing well. I'll give you a close-up of some of the corals. I put my rainbow lobo in the back there, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm having problems cleaning the glass around it when it expands. I decided to just let my clove polyps grow on the side of my rock here, and I've had a little bit of problem with algae. I had to pull out the algae once in a while, but they seem to be doing okay. This highlighter Favia been growing by leaps and bounds. This Raja Rampage chalice is really growing. That's one of my favorite corals. This Sunfire Montipora is growing pretty big. I've had to frag that a couple times. This green Sinularia, it's growing, but kind of slow. I don't know. It's a wild. It came in from the wild, so maybe it's taking longer to adjust to the tank. Like I said, this Nepthia is just like keeps growing, and I keep fragging it. This purple stylo has really grown a lot. It started out as one little nub about the size of the end of my pinky finger, and it's grown quite a bit. Love that coral. My jack-o'-lantern lepto is really growing fast and taking over this part of the rock. Really like that coral as well. My blood diamond Favia it's a slow grower, but it's growing. It's getting bigger. It's like 2 or 3 times the size of when I got it, at least. This Duncan coral was a freebie given to me by the people who sold me that rainbow chalice that got damaged. It came in with the same order. It wasn't damaged. I sure wish it would have been the other way around. Anyway, that Duncan's doing well. It's starting to put out a new little baby Duncan underneath it, and the two heads are a lot bigger than when I got them. That green and red Favites coral in the back's getting bigger. It's almost covered the whole plug. And this gold and purple Favia is getting a lot bigger. It's starting to cover the rock. And my dynamite rainbow chalice, that's a 4-inch plate it's on. It's almost covered the 4-inch plate. And my jelly bean chalice, same thing. It's almost covered at least half of the 4-inch plate. It was so small when I got it, it was just one mouth. This is that pink gonopora I told you about that keeps getting bigger and bigger and crowding out the other corals. And I'm going to look into figuring out some way to frag that thing, because it is getting really big for this size of a tank. My goldeneye chalice is covered the 4-inch plate and started growing up under the rock. It's looking really well. I like that chalice a lot. This is one of the frags from the Roger Rampage. It's getting pretty big. I'll probably sell that pretty soon to make some room for the other ones. A raspberry rainbow chalice, and never did quite get the colors that I expected from it yet. Maybe it'll still color up, but if I put on full blues, it looks a lot better, but I don't like full blues. I like some white in my tank so that I can see the fish and stuff better. So I don't put on full blues. Anyway, I think the tank's looking really well. Like I said, it's fully stocked now. And I'll give you an update if anything changes, but so far it's just on cruise control. Happy reefing.